unveiling the extensive use of Denver's flock cameras in immigration enforcement. In a startling revelation, audit logs obtained by Newsline from the Denver Police Department have exposed the extensive use of Flock Safety's license plate readers in immigration-related searches. Between June 2024 and April 2025, data from Denver's Flock cameras was accessed over 1,400 times for immigration purposes, primarily by out-of-state law enforcement agencies. This practice has raised significant concerns among privacy advocates and immigrant rights groups. But here's where it gets controversial. Denver police allowed national searches on their 111 cameras, enabling local law enforcement agencies across the country to access the data. When these agencies searched the data, they were required to provide a reason, and in many cases, ICE or immigration was cited. Approximately 690 of these searches occurred after President Donald Trump's inauguration in January 2025. The Denver Police Department's decision to disable the National Search feature in April was a response to the growing concerns over immigration enforcement. However, the damage had already been done, and the logs confirmed the worst fears of privacy advocates and immigrant rights groups. Katie Leonard, an organizer with the Denver Party for Socialism and Liberation, called for Denver to terminate its contract with Flock, stating, "The logs confirm our worst fears." The group is now pushing for the city to end its relationship with the company. Before the National Search feature was disabled, police departments in cities like Dallas and Jacksonville, Florida, conducted immigration-related searches of Denver's cameras. A police spokesperson defended the practice, saying that just because ICE was entered as the reason, it doesn't necessarily mean the search was for civil immigration enforcement. However, it remains unclear if any of the 1,400 immigration-related searches led to specific immigration enforcement actions. The cameras were initially installed in Denver in May 2024, with the police department praising them for their role in reducing auto theft and other crimes. The cameras have resulted in 289 arrests, according to the department. However, civil liberties advocates, including the ACLU Colorado, argue that the benefits do not outweigh the privacy and immigrant rights concerns. Advocates' fears have been exacerbated by the Trump administration's aggressive immigration policies, which include mass deportation efforts and the arrest of individuals without permanent legal status. Under Trump, fewer than half of ICE arrestees have criminal records, further fueling concerns about the misuse of surveillance data. Anaya Robinson, the public policy director of ACLU Colorado, emphasized that the conversation about immigrant data is just the tip of the iceberg. The root of the concern really is that Flock, because of the way that they allow sharing data, are building out this nationwide network of surveillance, she said. "We have a lot of concerns when it comes to people's right to privacy and not having all of our movements to and from our homes being tracked by law enforcement." In May, the Denver City Council unanimously rejected a $666,000 contract extension with Flock. However, the cameras are still operational in Denver, as Mayor Mike Johnston extended the contract through October, bypassing the council. The contract extension, valued at about $499,000, fell below the $500,000 threshold that would have required council review. Denver City Council member Sarah Parody expressed alarm at the contract renewal process, suggesting that the amount was deliberately set to evade council review. She also criticized the continued operation of the cameras in Denver. During the months between the council's rejection of the contract extension and Johnston's extension of the contract, "I am just flabbergasted that we allowed these cameras to keep running in the city with not even a contract in place," Parody said. She added that while the focus is on deportations, there are numerous ways surveillance data can be abused, and blocking the ability to search for immigration does not alleviate her concerns. In June, 9 News reported that the Loveland Police Department allowed an agent with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms to use its flock data to conduct 6 searches on behalf of ICE. This raises questions about the potential for collaboration between local law enforcement and federal immigration authorities, despite Colorado law restricting such cooperation. Holly Balin, a spokesperson for Flock Safety, defended the company's practices, stating that the audit logs allowed for transparency and that the accountability mechanisms within the Flock system worked as intended. However, advocates in Denver argue that the National Search Tool's disablement does not address their privacy and civil liberty concerns. The cameras still retain license plate images for 30 days, which Leonard considers a dangerous infringement of Coloradans' rights. We've been sounding the alarm about how serious the threats are that Flock poses to the safety and constitutional rights of all types of working-class people, especially under the Trump administration, Leonard said. These cameras need to be turned off. What are your thoughts on the use of Flock cameras in immigration enforcement? Do you believe the benefits outweigh the privacy concerns, or should the cameras be turned off? Share your opinion in the comments below.